Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Yes indeed, yes indeed, yes indeed. We are here. Good. Welcome. Y'all know what day it is, y'all know what time it is, and y'all know who y'all are looking at. Welcome to another episode of Club Pizzle. I am, of course, your host, Pizzle, Don P, Pie God, Unk, all those good things, man. Um, Thank you for your continued support of this podcast. Thank you for your continued support of this platform. I greatly appreciate everybody. While y'all are in a supportive, we're in a supportive mode. Make sure you go to YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Feedback is encouraged. Also, all on Spotify. Y'all know what it is, man. Club Pizzle on both. Or Club Pizzle, yeah, Club Pizzle 216. Um, Thank y'all. Before we get to it today, because we got a few things that we need to get to today. Again, while I'm thanking people, I want to thank everybody who took time out to submit this podcast for the Cleveland Magazine Best of Cleveland. Unfortunately, I did not make the cut. Yeah, I did not make the cut. Salute to the 3 finalists who did make the cut. I have no hard feelings, no bitter feelings. Just I'm of that. I always feel like it's going to be me versus the machine. I'm forever going to be going up against the machine. Me against everybody. But again, I'm not upset. I'm a little disappointed. I'll say that. I won't lie to y'all. I'm a little disappointed in not making the top 3. But there's always next year. I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep doing my thing. So y'all know what that means. Working a little harder. Um what else I got before we get to it, man? Y'all know I try to get this thing popping in 45 less or your money back. Y'all ain't paying no money still. Y'all ain't getting no money back. Couple of quick announcements. Some programming notes. Pizzle's Picks will be returning at the end of August. And um, after week 1 of the NFL season, get ready for Club Pizzle Happy Hour. And that is going to be taking place on Tuesday. So during football season this year, get ready for Club Pizzle Happy Hour on Tuesdays, Pizzle's Picks on Wednesday, where I'm picking college and pro game, and Club Pizzle on Thursday. So y'all be ready for that. I'm excited about it. I wanted to announce that for you guys. I just been sitting around messing around. The art for it is around somewhere. I think I put it somewhere. But y'all will see it. I will eventually. I will post it. Either during or after this stream. But I am very excited. I have another announcement to make at the end of the show. But I want to also send congratulations to B Jack. Yeah. As y'all know, Battleground took place this past Saturday, Exotic Cuisines. Shout out to the whole squad over at Battleground. Meet Shredder, the quarterback, QB1 over there. Flight Life B, DJ Verb, Timbuktu, as well as Dom Print. And also a big shout out to our special guest judge, Boogie J, who is absolutely one of the dope artists in Cleveland right now. Shout out to her. Had an opportunity to see her perform Friday night. I had my hot tail outside. Wasn't out long, but I know what. But salute to B-Jax. Salute to everybody who popped up at Battleground. All of the competitors. Chop Dollar, we want you to come back. Telly, one of the finalists, was a real dope artist. He did some dope things. I will eventually explain a lot of that, y'all. Shout out to Thuggin, who was a pleasant surprise. Faye Love came through. Self-Made Ted. Shout out to Self-Made Ted. Shout out to the shout out to Cleveland. I just want to shout out Cleveland and this music scene. It is doing fairly well. It is thriving. It could be better, but it is thriving. And believe me, I am going to do as much as I can to help out the culture, which means Fall Through is coming in August. I am booking for that. I have a couple of guests in mind. So y'all know what it is. Rappers, actors, content creators, producers, actresses, comedians. Hit me up and we'll get something popping. So again, man, congratulations, B-Jax, two-time champion. Next Battleground will be in, I believe, September. I believe. So be ready for that. I will be announcing that. Also, pool party, Shredder Gang music, Shredder Gang. Sorry about that. Has a pool party. I will have the link somewhere. If y'all want to pull up, it's a pool party next Friday. The link will be posted somewhere, maybe on IG, maybe down in the, down in the down here, done in not the description. I'm sorry, y'all gotta forgive me. It's been a long week. It's 90 degrees outside. It is, it is cooking up. But y'all know how we do this, man. We are here for a good time and not a long time. Let's just get to it. The Cleveland Browns have opened up training camp. And I know, Duh, I thought you were on a sabbatical. Duh, I thought you weren't gonna be messing with the Browns this year. Duh, you so phony. Duh. All right, check it out. Sabbatical still stands. And sabbatical will still stand until Shador becomes the starter. If he becomes the starter. Which I got a feeling he might become the starter at some point. What I feel in my heart. But I live in Cleveland. Most of my supporters are in Cleveland and or are Browns fans. So why would I go away from doing something that I have been doing on this show for the 4 years that I've been doing it? Makes sense, don't it? I make dollars. Seriously, that's the whole gist of it. What's the point in which is the reason why I'm doing Club Pizzle Happy Hour, which I'm going to recap. That's going to be more national stuff and me recapping the week in college and the weekend in the NFL as far as like the bigger games go. That's why I'm doing that. Club Pizzle Thursdays. I am going to talk Browns football. I have talked Browns football on Club Pizzle for 4 years. I have also posted about Browns football on my social medias since I've been on social media. So I'm not going away with that. I'm just not a fan. I'm not rooting for them. I'm buying a Shador Sanders shirt. Better believe that. But I'm just not a fan. Sabbatical is what it is. Like, I'm not rooting for them. I'm going to talk about them objectively and non-biased. Shout out to those of y'all who are going to be speaking about them. And shout out to the homers. I know who y'all are. I'm not going to call y'all out on y'all. It just is what it is. Now, Browns have open camp up. The rookies reported on the 18th. The veterans reported the other day. So they have full training camp. Some of the big stories coming out of there are they're back to Kevin Stefanski's scheme, in which I've told y'all on this show for the past few years, that scheme does work. That scheme has made it to the playoffs 2 times in 4 years. In 5 years, sorry, 4 years. That scheme has gotten the Cleveland Browns, or has gotten Kevin Stefanski coach of the year. If you look at the scheme does work. If y'all go to the game, or if y'all watch the all 11 view of the game, y'all will see the scheme work. The receivers get open. Biggest issue with the Cleveland Browns is quarterback. Unfortunately, Baker Mayfield is no longer here. He's down in Tampa tearing it up. And brought Joe Flacco back. And as of right now, Joe Flacco, and I'll say this without them playing any games, Joe Flacco goes into week 1 as QB1. And this is a quarterback competition. This is an open competition, but I feel like Joe Flacco is going to go into the season as QB1. He's the most experienced. It's 20 years. Former Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion. We saw what he did in Stefanski's scheme the last time they ran the scheme before they brought Ken Dorsey in there. I love Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey is a Miami Hurricane alum. Y'all know how I feel about Miami Hurricanes. But that scheme just didn't do what it was supposed to do here. And I think it was because of Deshaun Watson not being injured, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson didn't work out. Just a bunch of reasons why Ken Dorsey's scheme didn't work. Wanted it to work, but once Watson went down, that kind of like put a stop to that. So get rid of Ken Dorsey after 1 year. That was Kevin Stefanski basically saying, hey, my scheme works, and I'm doing this y'all way for this year. If it don't work out this year, going back to my way, and bam, back to Kevin Stefanski's way. But let's get to this quarterback competition. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, 3rd round pick Dylan Gabriel, and 5th round pick Shedeur Sanders. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my times of like watching and or covering football. I've been watching football for a long time. I covered football in 2007. I don't think I've ever seen an open competition that had 4 quarterbacks. Now, I was around for Couch and Holcomb, or I was in tune with Couch and Holcomb. I was around for Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn. I was around for that. I covered that. But for it to be this, you got wily old veteran in Joe Flacco. You got Kenny Pickett, who's in his, I believe, what is this, his 3rd year, 4th year in the league? Bounced around to come from, drafted by Pittsburgh. Traded to Philly last year, part of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia, which is fire. And then traded here to Cleveland. Mind you, I have seen Kenny. I've seen Kenny Pickett play in person. I went to the Pitt Miami game back in, I forgot what year that was, but I went to that game. It was like, was it 20, whatever year that was. I've seen it in person, and even then, I say he's a pro quarterback. I didn't say what kind of of pro quarterback he could be, but I said he was a pro quarterback. I kind of thought that the Browns would have at some point, but they didn't. And then you got two rookies, which is very intriguing. Dylan Gabriel, listen, guy went to Oklahoma and he went to Oregon. Quarterback, the number one team in the country for most of the year. They lost. I mean, and they did. It took L. Lost it. Dylan Gabriel. Okay, listen. If Dylan Gabriel was 4 inches taller, he'd be. If Dylan Gabriel was 4 inches taller, he probably wouldn't be a Cleveland Brown. If Dylan Gabriel was 4 inches taller, he would have been off the board in the first round. That's how good I think he is. But the fact that he is 5'11" kind of puts a on it. And we already know how everyone feels about Shedeur Sanders. I saw Shedeur, or how I feel about Shedeur Sanders. I seen him at Jackson State. I seen him at Colorado. And I say this kid has something. And it wasn't his daddy's speed. But he has an arm. He actually puts me in the mind of Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson. He's just not as fast. Not that Deshaun Watson is fast. It's just Deshaun had escapability and could break something. Shedeur's not that type of quarterback. He's a pocket passer. So Flacco and Kenny Pickett are getting first team reps. That is a fluid situation out there. And Kevin Stefanski has said, like, don't take too much first reps, blah, blah, blah. This is just the first week. They'll really know something or get some information when they do these joint practices in the next couple of weeks. They're doing joint practice next week, and they're doing a joint practice the week after with their actual opponent. So don't expect to hear much this week, but going into this week and next week, the week after, don't expect a lot. Looking at the QB competition, I'm also looking at the wide receiver room. Who's going to emerge next to Jerry Jeudy and Deontay Johnson? David Bell is starting the year hurt. What is Cedric Tillman going to give us? What is Mike Woods going to give us? Something has to give. Jerry Jeudy was top 10, top 5 in receiving yards or just receivers last season with the quarterback carousel going on. Somebody needs to step up as a legit 2 and a slot man. If Cedric Tillman can step up as the number 2 and you can get Deontay Johnson in the slot or vice versa, or just the versatility of Kevin Stefanski's scheme. If Mike Woods can emerge, I love Mike Woods. I'm glad they made that pick. I think that kid has potential. Not a kid anymore. He's been with the Browns, 3-4 years now. It's time to show and go, bro. David Bell is a great possession receiver. He is the third and medium receiver that can get you the 5-yard incredible route. He's that guy. But we need somebody because we know what Jerry Jeudy's going to give us. Jerry Jeudy is one of them. Jerry Jeudy is that man. And then with the tight end position, David Njoku going into a contract year, we know what he's going to give the Cleveland Browns. We already know that. He is away from the team. Prayers and condolences to David Njoku and his family. He lost his dad. So prayers and condolences to Chief for that. But we know when he gets there, we know what he's gonna do. Also, the running backs room. I'm really focusing on the offense. I mean, the defense. We'll see who steps up in Jeremiah in JOK's app, and which he might not be back for the whole year. Okay, but I'm focusing on the offense. What does the running back room look as well? Who is the replacement for Nick Chubb? Jerome Ford is probably going to end up a starter. Dylan Sampson is here. Krishan Jenkins remains unsigned and may not be signed at all because of his legal issue. The Browns are Kevin Stefanski addressed it. He said what he needed to say. We are thoroughly investigating the thing. And until then, I ain't heard much from y'all. I ain't seen not one person. I've seen a few people actually post about it and talk about it. I've had this discussion with my guy Chris. He has his reservations about everything, but the fact is that this is a serious charge, allegation, in which domestic abuse and domestic violence really isn't okay. That's the type of stuff I don't condone. And I don't pick and choose on who I determine that I'm gonna call him out for. I call everybody out. I call Kareem Hunt out on his on post. I talked about Mike Hart Jr. in his whole ordeal last year. And any other ones you can name, anytime any domestic anything goes on, I'm not condoning that. I'm going to condemn that person. And if something comes out that's different, then I'll do my due diligence. I will apologize. I will say, hey, it is what it is. But as of right now, he was arrested for domestic whatever, for putting his hands on a young lady. And everyone knows how I feel about that. You put your hands on a woman. I do not respect you at all. You hear that, Cleveland? Any man that puts his hand on a woman, I do not respect you. You ever hit a woman in your life, just know I don't respect you. And just know there's a reason why I don't talk to you or work with you. Or if you work with somebody who has knowingly put their hands on somebody, on a woman, a black woman at that, just know there's a reason why I won't work with you, or I refuse to work with you, and I won't talk to you. That's neither here nor there. Again, that situation is still ongoing. Krishan Jenkins is not in camp. Dylan Sampson is in camp. Also, Pierre Strong is also here, I believe. But who's going to emerge out of that running back room? Can Jerome Ford carry the load? Dylan Sampson sure can. I can see a running back by committee with this team. Run the ball, pound the rock. Pause. And can this rookie class make an immediate impact? When I say rookie class, I'm talking about Mason Graham. I'm talking about, I can't think of my linebacker guy's name. His name is slipping my mind right now. And will one of these two quarterbacks emerge? The preseason schedule, August 8th at Carolina, which is the start, which they will have joint practices with um, going into that week. And also August 16th at the Philadelphia Eagles, in which they will also be having joint practices with the defending Super Bowl champion. I kind of like this kind of stuff. And I think more teams should do it, personally. And I think more teams will do this. I know they for 1 week, but not. And then they end the season August the 23rd at home at Huntington Bank Field against the Los Angeles Rams. They have placed Deshaun Watson and Mike Hall Jr. on the active physically unable to perform list, aka the PUP list, and David Bell is on the active non-football injury list. And as I stated before, Rashawn Jenkins remains unsigned and probably won't get signed until charges get dropped or something happens in that case if he has to stand trial. We're going to see. But again, y'all haven't talked about. Y'all aren't posting these type of things. And and when I say y'all, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Browns fan, Ohio State fan. Yo, I know I'm not supposed to be kicking backs in, but the picking and choosing stuff has to stop. Okay? It has to stop. Because if that guy was from somewhere else, you know what? Forget it. Not why we're. Also this week, yesterday, Cleveland Browns dropped a brand new helmet. There will be a new uniform this year. The Cleveland Browns have introduced what they are calling the Alpha Dog look. It is a brown helmet. It is matte seal brown, which I don't hate. It's not ugly. Kind of fire, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all. But I know how Browns fans are. Browns fans pee their pants if they don't step out there in a orange helmet with no logo on it. Hey, at least they don't put a logo on a helmet yet. The entire uniform kit is the brown helmet with the orange and brown stripe, which is fire. Like I said, that's fire. And a brown face mask, which I'm not a fan of. I wish the face mask was brown. I mean, it was white. Sorry about. As far as the uniform goes, it's an all brown monochrome kit, what they're calling it. Brown jersey with orange number and brown pants. It's equivalent to this bad boy. Place that over me. It looks like this. It might be a little darker. It might be a little different. And if y'all asking, yes, this is an Odell Beckham. Listen, this is and I mean the one of them joints. This is one of the $300 joints. Get y'all one broke asses. But I don't hate the combination. It's fire. The all brown look is cool. This combination, this uniform combination, this Alpha Dog uniform will be worn 3 times. Week 3 versus the Green Bay Packers, Week 7 versus the Miami Dolphins, and Week 14 versus the Tennessee Titans. The only downfall I don't like about this particular uniform is the fact that this team has no night games this year. They will be wearing it in the daytime. This uniform, under the lights, this brown, this dark brown, dark seal brown, would look great under the lights with that dark brown helmet. Also, there will be no mixing and matching of the uniforms. So no, they won't wear the brown helmet with the white jersey and the brown pants, which I think is a winner of a combination like the orange jersey, the orange helmet, white jersey, and pants, or they can throw the all white on. I like the fact that now this team has options. I'm with it. I'm with all of that. Moving on. Apparently, the Cleveland Cavaliers turned down a deal that would have sent Dean Wade to the Houston Rockets, and they were going to sign him some 4-year extension. But the Cavs turned the deal down, and instead they signed Dorian Finney. Now the players are not like the deal is unknown. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was picks. I don't know if it was players. I don't believe the Rockets wouldn't be dumb enough to trade Jalen for Dean Wade or Jabari Smith Jr. Cam Whitmore, somebody like that. I'm Jeff Green. I don't know. I've been looking up and down. I looked up and down that roster and tried to figure it out. I can't for the life of me figure out who the Houston Rockets would have been willing to trade. Hey, y'all may not like him, but I would have traded Dean Wade for Dylan Brooks. I would have made that deal. I would have went after Dylan Brooks. Y'all may hate him, but Dylan Brooks is exactly the type of defender that the Cleveland Cavaliers need. A tall wing defender who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, and he don't really care about scoring, but he can put up points. But they turned that deal down. So there. There is an outside chance that the Cavs will move Dean Wade at some point. It may not be in the offseason, but at the trade deadline, Dean Wade is an expiring contract and might back body. So that is unknown. Also in Cleveland Cavaliers news, they were present at a workout that Victor Oladipo held for all of the teams because he is planning a comeback to the NBA. Listen, I'm saying this. I'm not saying yes, but I'm saying this. As a championship team, as a championship contending team, a team coming off of 64 wins, a 1 seed, in a wide open Eastern Conference, after the moves they've just made, they have gotten taller and more athletic on the wing position. Bringing in a guy like Victor Oladipo is not a bad. You give yourselves leverage, or you give yourself the leverage and the versatility to do what you need to do. Will they get Depot? I don't think so. I think Depot needs to go somewhere like or hell, even might be a good landing spot. Or hell, he played in Indiana, so send him on to Indiana. Now we almost out of here. The WNBA All-Star game took place last weekend. It was actually kind of fire. Team Collier defeated Team Clark 151 to 131. Nefessa Collier was the MVP. He was the captain, 36 points in All-Star game record. Skylar Diggins had 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 15 assists. The first triple-double in All-Star history, and also an All-Star game record, 15 assists. However, However, all of that was overshadowed by a damn teacher. Listen, y'all, it's to a point where, listen, I'm a fan of hoop. I watch as much hoop as I can. I haven't watched a lot lately. I've actually been binge watching The Shy from the beginning. I'm on season 4 now. But I love watching hoop. I'll catch when the WNBA game is on. I'm catching it. I'm watching, and I don't care who it is. It doesn't have to be Caitlin Clark or Angel. Those are the reasons why these TV deals and why the viewership is up and why attendance is up, right? But the fact that these women were at their event that's supposed to celebrate them, and all everybody seems to want to talk about social media and a few podcasts were the t-shirts that they wore. That's pay. Well, now I'm on their side with pay us what you will. Yes, ladies, I'm on the side. Y'all do deserve to get paid. However, the WNBA in its 27 years of existence has never turned a profit. You have to be able to turn a profit before y'all start to get paid. Now, I don't know exactly what they want to be paid. Like, what are they owed, really? These teams aren't making money. Maybe a little profit share, whatever, like, however their business goes, right? I don't know what the highest paid WNBA player is making what? 250, 350, whatever. I don't care about the numbers and the money. Like, I'm not a pocket. I don't pocket watch. So whatever money, yeah, like, I'm not a pocket watch. That stuff don't matter to me. I'm more of a fan of the actual game. I love watching the game, the X's and O's, and the moving parts. And I am so excited for the WNBA to come to Cleveland in 2028. I have put my $28 down. I'm one of the 5,000 that got mine. And oh yeah, I'm headed to the team shop to go and buy my Cleveland WNBA merchandise. And by that time, I think I'm gonna grab 2 because by that time, my baby granddaughter is gonna be big enough for me to actually want to me to actually take her to the game. So that'll be some little stuff for G Dad to do for baby girl. Back to it now. Um, the fact that a lot of people pointed a finger at Angel Reese, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with how a lot of y'all talk about that young lady. She's been on a tear for the last month. And all y'all brothers still be talking trash about it. That girl is playing her game. She's playing how she's supposed to. She's balling. Double machine, which is exactly what projected her to be coming out of college. And y'all know what's crazy? This is the worst right now. Two. She's only in year 2. And she's averaging 16, like 17, 18, 19, and 12 rebounds. That girl will mess around in year 5 and be averaging 20. And what are y'all gonna say about it? Nothing. I won't get into the RG3 stuff. I just won't forget him. Sometimes he's good, but right now he's a doof. Forget him. People tried to point and say Angel was the reason why they wore the shirts. Kelsey Plum kind of was like, nobody on this team was in that meeting. We just decided to wear the shirt. So, whatever. The fact of the matter is that T-shirt overshadowed their week. It's sad. Now, before I get out of here, 80s babies. I need y'all to come and check in with me. 80s babies, are y'all okay? Got to check in on y'all, make sure y'all are okay, because this has been one hell of a week. I want to start off by saying, rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne passed away yesterday. Musical genius, legendary rock star. As a music lover, that one kind of touched me. Dang, Ozzy, gone. Lived a full life. Suffering from Parkinson's the final year of his life. But musical genius, Black Sabbath, Crazy Train. We all know that. Hearing Trick Daddy tell the story of how he just cleared his record "Let's Go" without even any resistance. He just cleared the record. I thought it was fire. But rest in peace to Ozzy. And that's what I have to say about Ozzy. That's it's nothing but respect, prayers, and condolences to his family. The man did have a family, he had kids, and all of that. Next, I want to say rest in peace, and I know I have to get these out. This is my platform, and I'm gonna get this out. I want to say rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner, who passed Tuesday at the age of 50. Now, this is a little different than most. A few deaths really hit me hard. Tupac as a young teenager, Biggie as a teenager, Kobe as a grown ass man, kind of had me messed up. Ooh, being a couple of Chadwick Boseman, because that knows. But Malcolm Jamal Warner passing away is like, damn, like that's part of my childhood. Understand being a '80s baby, being a child of the '80s, being raised by the '80s, class of '83. I know what it is. Growing up and sitting down on Thursday nights to watch the Cosby Show or a random day and when they hit syndication, or going over to my cousin Dez's house and us watching the Cosby Show because he didn't tape them all and stealing those tapes, getting my butt kicked. you know, big cousin always gonna beat up little cousin, right? Because little cousin is always gonna take big cousin, right? But watching like just those memories of being able to sit down and watch watch the Cosby Show. If Bill Cosby at that time was American, Malcolm Jamal Warner was America's son. As a young black kid growing up in, I wanted to be Theo, or wanted to be like Theo. I wanted to be Theo. Now, some of y'all and a lot of my brothers out there, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all wanted to be Theo, unless y'all wanted to be Elvin or Martin or Robert or Bud, they the Huxtables. Or Stanley. Wow. But just the moment I just started reflecting in those moments, and they did start popping up on my news feed and on my timeline on Instagram, and those moments, just the Theo moment, the y'all know the scene, the very first episode. I want to live like regular people, Dad. And Cliff comes in and he's like, all right, we get this money, we get to 100 a month. We're gonna take 400 and something. We're gonna take this for rent. Whoa. He was like, well, yeah, the taxes they come for the reg. We're gonna take this in tax because they come after the regular people first. And it's like, all right, so we're gonna take this for your apartment in Manhattan. I live in New Jersey. Next we gonna take this out for a car. I'll ride a motorbike, but you need a helmet. Y'all know the whole thing. Figure $100 a month for clothing, and figure 200. I want to look good. Y'all know the exact scene I'm talking about. I'll get by on bologna cereal, like those that stuff like that. Justine. Come on, man. Y'all know the scene. Y'all know like that is. You remember this stuff. Third on where the Gordon Gartrell episode. Lord knows I'm trying to find like real shirts. Yes, I've had this shirt for a few years. I didn't just order this. I've been get with. But again, man, rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner, legend, icon, not just a black icon or a black legend, just an icon, general artist, poet. Malcolm and Eddie, y'all seen Malcolm and Eddie? He appeared on a lot of the newer television shows over the past few years, but he will always, if ever, be Theo Huxtable. And watching some of his interviews and listening to how he speaks, and he is like, damn, he's one of the child stars who is okay. He's one of the child stars that's healthy. He's not one of the child stars that's strung out on drugs or in rehab for alcohol or broke because of that. And like he was a healthy 54-year-old man with a wife and a family. So rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And finally, news broke today at 12 o'clock. And I've been on social. I know. I don't even give a damn about y'all right now. This is me and this is about me. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan passed away today at the age of 71. Now I know what everybody is running to, or what some of y'all are running into. Like, relax. We know what, and we know what, but stop. But we see, this is the thing about social media. Certain stuff has to stop when people die, and stop picking and choosing what you want to be outraged about. Y'all was outraged when Kobe died and they brought up the rape case. Y'all were outraged when OJ died and they brought up the cases. Y'all were outraged when Michael Jackson passed and they brought up the cases. But you turn around when Hulk Hogan passes and y'all bring up that. Come on, relax. Now, again, I know what was said. I know he was whatever. But I'm picking, and I'm choosing to remember what he was as a child. The adult me, whatever. P.O., he's a piece of, he was that. But let's not get convenient amnesia here. Let's not act like y'all wasn't Hulkamaniacs. I admit I was a Hulkamaniac as a kid. I had the Hulk Hogan wrestling men. I had the big plastic joint. Y'all remember the big plastic joint that was about 6 to 8 inches? I had that. I had the Hulk Hogan thumb wrestler. I had the Hulk Hogan doll that was like a foot and a half tall that came with the championship belt and the rip away shirt and the headband. I had the Hulk Hogan weight set that came with the dumbbells and the sprint and the stretching thing and the headband and the wristbands. I was that kid. I was that kid at the Richfield Coliseum in November of 1987, Thanksgiving night to be exact, at the very first Survivor Series. My Aunt Cookie and my mom took my uncle and my cousin, and we were there. And I had a Hulk Hogan foam finger, which I kept hitting the lady in the front of me with. I remember all of this stuff. I was there. WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. I know that match like the back of my hand. I could simulate that whole entire match. Commentary and all. I point to that match as the match that saved my life. Because had I not discovered wrestling, WWF, as a 4-year-old kid, my grandmother would have knocked my head off my shoulder. So, again, that is a memory that I have. Let's not forget what he did for a genre or something that back then was not cool to be a fan. It was just like a small niche audience. A lot of people wouldn't watch wrestling if not for Hulk Hogan. He went from being the biggest star as a good guy for a decade to moving to WCW and being the biggest star as a bad guy. That's a whole 15-year run as that man on both ends of it. And again, I don't give a damn how what y'all say to or about me in this situation. I'm gonna speak on him the way I want to speak on him, same way y'all want to speak on him the way y'all want to speak on him. And I'm gonna say the comments that he made 10 years ago, that's between him and his God. That's not for y'all to judge. That's between them. And with that said, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Thank y'all for y'all support again, man. Final announcement. I will be taking the next few weeks off. I have one, I'm going to be rearranging my man cave. I also going to be taking time to get myself healthy, mentally and physically. Sometimes you take time. I will be back for Pizzle Picks, whatever week 0 is. I'll be back. I may or may not do a SummerSlam preview for next week. Oh, please don't. This final thing to a lot of you, and I posted. Don't champion and say Chris Benoit needs to be in the Hall of Fame, yet you're saying The Rock shit about. And I'll leave it there. Y'all know what it is. Always protect your peace, protect your energy. Message is more important than the messenger, and creators be great. Stay positive because negative energy is trash. I will see you all in a few weeks.